That is the section that has been removed. So that is showing the fact that they're recognizing the First Amendment. Okay, I'm going to clap for that. But they confused this and to put a moratorium on using this law until they can sort things out and understand when they remove with intent from the law, what does it read now? And they can agree on that. It hasn't been even 30 days, and we're talking about bureaucracy here. So during this 30-day time, they have a 30-day moratorium on exercising the law until they can get on the same page. So I don't know how long that moratorium. During this moratorium, it requires higher authority to arrest someone under these statutes, presuming the higher authority has had the most recent briefing. And then the higher authority has the authority to write off and then send that to the prosecutor's office. Now, because it was physical contact, is the same statute as physical contact as electronic contact. It's the same statute. So when there's a moratorium on the same statute, there's a moratorium on the entire statute. They have to wait until the brass okays it. That's the way the construction has been explained to me anyway.
Sounds to me like they're yanking your chain.
No, it actually happened. I went and looked up. I had to do a little digging in order to find out what the actual change was, because they just say, oh, everyone's in dire need. Somebody says we can't do something again or something like that. And they say that something's unconstitutional, and they try to make it out as bad as possible, but they don't tell you how they arrived at the conclusion. I had to go look of what the action was, because they didn't report that, and then also what the conclusion of the court was, and it's not published. It's actually a little bit elusive to find. I did find it. I broadcasted it when I found it. That's what it is. And they told me themselves that they have had a series of briefings, and there's not anything they can do about it until somebody decides what those are. And you know what? They're just street cops. The moratorium's coming above even the city. The moratorium's coming at the state level. So it's going to take time for that bureaucracy to get, settled. Either that or the lieutenant. Now, the other problem is, though, there is no escaping. He says that he used the registry in order to track me down, and then used the registry again to taunt me. There's no question of that. That's federal. Um, that's also supposed to be a Colorado law, but I can't find it. It says there's a Colorado law in the sheriff's announcement, when you try to go into that part of the website, it warns you there's a law against it, but you can't find it. Because somewhere, and I found this in other Colorado law too, oh, it's actually quoting the code, the federal code, and adopting it in its entirety, in a little paragraph somewhere, hidden somewhere. So you can't actually find where the actual code is, because it's actually only referring to the federal code rather than describing what that is. There's no description, it's just referring to it. Oh, in the case of this, refer to USC, blah, blah, blah. So then that's active in federal. But the problem is I cannot initiate anything less than 60 days in federal court. It's that much bureaucracy. I can notify the court. I can give them these facts. That ends the case. They have to issue a warrant for this guy. There's no question about that. He mentioned the civil suit, he mentioned my registry, and that's why he's there, in order to punk me out wherever I go with a gun. I'm sorry, man, that hands down. Nobody's, you're not going to get a lawyer. They're going to love the money that you would have to give them. And then you're still going to jail. Okay. That's what's funny about it. The problem is it takes 60 days after I submit these reports too. So I've got from now until the middle of June, depending on what this judge wants to do. If they accept the electronic witness, I don't have a problem. Okay, if they do not accept the electronic witness, then I have to write this in writing. I have to present either that, or I have to produce a police report that would be included in the police report that I would FOIA in order to give the judge. And then it shows the fact that this witness is in Illinois willing in order to say these things. And then I've been able to get it to the judge. But the problem is how I submit that evidence to the judge. I can do it through the police report, or I can do it with the witness. I think it would be self-explanatory with the witness. On the stand rather than the affidavit, because the affidavit causes a lot of questions. You see, these people are not people that like me. And they kind of liked 303 until he did this. It's fucking amazing what's happening. So That's the problem I have to overcome, and I got to find out about that tomorrow. So, I mean, we're talking about most of the day tomorrow, submitting an appearance, waiting for the afternoon thing, not spending another fucking $12 going back and forth, you know, between town and home and shit like that. Trying to take the dog for a walk for an extended period of time. God, he's been so blessed recently.
I
Oh
would
my
do
god!
anything past
Holy
this guy.
fucking shit! Look who's in the basement. Rex, I raped a 15-year-old girl, Frederickson. How are you, you fucking child molester?
Oh my god.
Poor mouse.
Sorry, Mouse. Come back. Tell us about how you molested a child.
No, I'm here in order to talk about you guys' lawsuit and tell you about what's actually happening in a real lawsuit, not an imaginary one. You want to hear what's going on? I lost Flathead and Mike out of Florida in this lawsuit, and I thought you might be interested in why, how, and how the events surrounding 303 did this. Because
What
you're
does this have to do with anything, Mouse?
because you're talking about defamation, this, that, and the other thing. He's talking shit. You're completely in left field.
Okay. I'm going to take legal advice from a guy that pisses and jugs on live stream.
If you're making out.
Yeah. Can you listen? If I wanted advice on how to blame a rape victim, a teenage rape victim, then I will ask you. If I want advice about how to live in a fucking shack, I will ask you. Otherwise, bye, Mouse. That's how we treat pedophiles here. Get the fuck out of here. This is who's